So from time to time, we've talked about what it's like getting old. So I've decided I'm going to tell you the 5 best things about being an old bugger. At some point, I suppose I'll tell you the 5 worst things. But here's the 5 best things about being an old bastard. First of all, at number 5, you get to play your music really, really loud as you want. Because people will go, oh, that poor old bugger, he must be deaf as a post. No, I'm not, but I'm working on it. Number 4, you get to go to the movies on your own. Now that may sound weird, but when you're in your 20s and your 30s, if you want to go and watch a movie and no one else does, particularly if it's a movie that's not in your demographic, so say like Pitch Perfect, if you went on your own, it would just be weird, and people would look at you weird, and they'll think you're some kind of creepy bugger. But when you're old, you can totter into the movies and say, just one for Pitch Perfect, please. And people go, oh, shame, poor guy, he must live on his own. No, I'm not on my own. I just live with selfish bastards who don't want to go to movies with me. I'll have 1 medium popcorn, please. And for bonus points, if you buy yourself a vase or an urn, you can put it on the seat next to you. And if somebody happens to have bought that seat, they will quite often find somewhere else to sit, because they want you to spend time with Edith, your partner, who is no longer with you. Or they just don't want to be haunted. Number 3, everybody starts to look the same. When you're young, the world is divided into 2 camps. Those people that are pretty and those people who are not. And the people who are in the not column tend to spend all their time trying to figure out how to get into the is column. And the people that are in the is column spend all of their time sneering at the people who are in the not column. But when you get old, you all start to look the same. So, for example, my friend Datlabs, he was very pretty, a very handsome fellow, with fine hair and good skin. Now, he's a lot larger and he's bald, so he looks like a giant big toe. My best mate Bert, he a French Mauritian, and he was very handsome. He was very handsome. He had that Mediterranean skin and big dimples, and when he smiled, it was like turning on a halogen lamp. And he'd say, my name is Bertrand, because he was French. Now, he's just a browner version of Datlabs. You all start to look the same. Number 2. This was nearly my favorite one, but you get to use all of the modern slang in a way that makes your kids cringe. So I say things like skibbity and get your giat over here, and dude, your fit's fire. And my kids hate it, and it is an endless source of delight for me. Just this morning, I was driving my son to school. Yes, you. And my son said something, and I said to him, for real, or frufra. Drives them nuts, and I love it. But the number one best thing about being old is you get to say what you want. and do what you want. And I'm not talking about being a dick. I'm not talking about, I want to see the manager, or you kids are just got no respect. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is this. For some reason, it has become a bad thing to compliment people. I don't quite get it. But when you're old, you can do that. And I try and do this as much as possible. So if I go to the supermarket and I see somebody who's wearing a very pretty dress, I will say, man, that dress is awesome. You are rocking that dress. And they go, oh, thank you. Because they're probably thinking to themselves, it's an old school gentleman. I saw a dude at the supermarket the other day. He had a fantastic physique, a fantastic build. He's wearing a t-shirt and man, that guy's looking good. So I said to him, hey dude, I hope you've got a license for those guns. He was so happy. He was so chuffed. So you can do that sort of thing and people just go, they're from a different generation. So yeah, old school gentlemen. You can hold doors open for people. Nowadays, if you do that and you're a young fella, for some reason it'll be offensive. But no, I'll hold the door open for somebody and they can walk through and I'll walk through after them. So I really like it. So anyway, that's the best things about being an old bastard. Love you.